week 2 of a 6-week league. And just with that, we are off to the races here. We have a Sanctuary start with some learning and a Link's House start on Hitsuyan with some heart.
I got a nice pickup from Ninban there at the Sanctuary with the Book of Medora. Some early literacy, and if he so chooses to do so, they can do that pedestal check.
Alright, so I saw a crystal. So we have crystals on the desert and Tower of Hera, and on the right side we have Eastern with, I believe, I saw the green pendant.
It was a pendant. I couldn't see which color it was, though.
I don't think I saw the spark. You're right.
I want to say it's. I think it was red.
It just came at us so quickly here. Alright, and we're going to make our way through just the front side of the escape sequence. Nothing too much on the uncle here, and we've got another piece of heart from the lamp chest there. Wanted to take down a guard, but missed the throw, so we're going to go ahead and pull out of there. And now they're going to head into the Sanctuary and pick up their bit of literacy.
Very nice.
And after that literacy, they're done and out of there. They're heading back to the house. Let's see where they head to next with that book in hand. And we're getting a map check on Ninban's side, excuse me. Hitsuyan making the way down toward the bottom of the Kakariko village direction.
Okay.
So potentially setting up a tree pull here. Looking for bombs as well. The bushes there having a chance to drop bombs.
Yeah, I don't see a whole lot of players going down this route. They usually just immediately go to Kakariko in hopes of finding rupees to buy bombs or just bombs straight up. So, see where this leads.
But 2 cycles, and they did manage to pick up the bombs there. As they're going to Seizuyan's going to go ahead and knock out see what is on the race game. Just a piece of heart, so they're likely moving on.
Yeah, probably not going to worry about that for today.
As Ninban finds their pieces of heart in there and goes ahead and kills the guard, and now they're going to save him good after picking up that 20 spot. And that was a medallion in the library, but it happened so fast. It was the ether medallion, as I saw on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the knowledge of where the bolt coin is. We'll see if we even need it today. How many of those dungeons that require medallions for access we'll even need to go to? We only saw 1 pendant so far, and that's an extremely early moon pearl out of the tavern.
All right. So far, almost a third of the way there to Dark World access.
We have found one of the probably the most crucial piece of that Dark World puzzle there. Let's see what the chickens are holding on to today. Just some more bombs, which good for Hitsuyan. He'll now be able to complete all of Kakariko Village with his stack.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Ninban is setting up for pretty similar routing right now. Walking past that bottle vendor, he won't take... I don't think he's offering a 99% discount today.
I wish.
Making our way through the well here, starting off with a 20 spot.
And a sword. All right.
It's nice to pick up an early sword here.
Nice offense. And a bow.
Speaking of offense, there's the bow.
All right, cool.
So far, this seed offering a lot to these runners early.
Mm-hmm.
Though, unfortunately, finding that bow early isn't going to get them set out for an early crystal because Eastern Palace is a pendant.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, do you bother going into Eastern Palace when it's not a crystal? Ooh, and silvers coming off from Brian's hideout.
Speaking of offense, we've got silver arrows in just over 4 minutes, so there is not going to be a lot of... a lot of these boss fights and more challenging enemies will just take an arrow to the face, and there's a nice bottle early on here, so we can go and knock out Sick Kid as well.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a good start, but this usually means that the seed will drag on halfway through, but we'll definitely see.
All right, our bottle vendor holding on to just a piece of heart. And what will the Sick Kid have as Thanks for showing him the bottle after he got sick from that cold wind from the Mountain of Death.
Just more arrows.
Well, we do have the bow early, so not the worst thing ever.
Yeah, bow
I think
and
that's what I'm
silvers
looking
in the
for.
first, 5 minutes.
Alright, so Hitsuyan's going to make their way up, probably toward the Lost Woods. We'll see if they decide to use that instant literacy to knock out a pedestal shack right away and potentially kill the hype, depending on what is hiding behind 3 pendants today.
Mm-hmm. You know that Eastern is... Oh, it happened again.
I don't know what that is.
That's from Hitsuyan's side. Yeah.
I think he realized he forgot to silence a stream alert.
Yeah.
And has taken care of it. Release me so I can go bzzz. I don't think we're going to be seeing pedestal today.
Yep, that is a bee in a bottle.
Alright, so we're going to make our way around through the Lost Woods. Unfortunately, chat, pedestal, very much dead 6 minutes in.
Mm-hmm.
I know chat's just as disappointed as I am.
You see, both our runners now are armed with blue mail and also Master Sword for a Hitsuyan there.
Very early Master Sword. Also point out that that's a couple pieces of potential Ega. I mean, we've already got the Moon Pearl, but perhaps the hammer or a lift upgrade is locked behind there.
Mm-hmm.
Still a lot to be seen, though. A lot to hypothesize for. And Ninban making their way over to see the Kakariko Village Elder to see what he's stashing in his closet today.
Let's see what we got. We have more money, more arrows, and another bottle.
Not too much from the miser today. And Hitsuyan picking up Uncle's bombs.
Yeah, I don't think Ninban asked Saha where the green pendant was, did he?
I imagine if he did check pedestal, which we don't know, I mean, that knowledge probably means you're not looking to see where the green pendant is, though. It doesn't look like they made their way up to the Lost Woods, as they're only on Fighter Sword right now.
Mm-hmm. And Ninban's gonna head over to Eastern. He's gonna do this potentially risky play.
It's interesting to see them with so much being available to go ahead and dive Pendant Eastern, though it is a completable dungeon. Well,
not
barring
in
the
logic,
lamp
though.
find.
Yeah, not in logic,
They can
but...
complete it.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, we have not seen what is inside the Eastern Palace, and what Hitsuyan has yet to see here in Mini Moldarm Cave, Ice Rod Cave, and we have not yet seen a Gina.
Mm-hmm. Alright, let's see what we have. We have more bombs, more money, half magic, more money. Alright, okay. Half magic is always nice. That's definitely a nice find in any seed.
Yeah, definitely. Taking inventory where we've got so far, Kakariko Village coming up with the bow and the fighter sword, and the Moon Pearl, the other sword being in the Lost Woods. And we've also found those silver arrows with the Thieves' Hideout. Ninban making the way through Eastern Palace, one of our few checks left, as Hitsuyan is going ahead and check out Ice Rod Cave here. This long walk to a cold cave, hopefully pointing them somewhere other than potentially bad locations. Had to make their way through the dangers of the crab army of the South Shore.
Although this means that they could open up desert. Won't be able to do much though without a glove.
Depending on where the keys fall, they may be able to clear most of the front side, but will not have access to the back, as we find out that sweet corn is supposedly good on pizza. The jury is out on that one.
Oh, speaking of glove.
Well, there we go there. So definitely required to dip into this Pendant Eastern here.
Ooh.
So, and Hitsuyan's walking down. It looks like they're setting up for the fake flipper. Going for a bomb setup.
even if the pedestal is not required, it might be required for runners to go into pendant dungeons, in case there is progression.
There's a fireball as Ninban is making their way in, trying to get into the dam and see that there's nothing inside. So far we've got 2 of our pieces of our Dark World puzzle. We still need to find the hammer or a second glove. So right now, the only logical check we have left is Agina.
Yep, Akina, then you can look at the Desert Palace ledge.
And there finally, the fake flipper glitch cooperates on Hitsuyan's side, and we're just heading up to see what's going on with the hobo. Only at 122 rupees, so I don't know if they're going to make their way up to Zora, though they do have possibilities. And I suppose you're right, chat bringing up a good point. Nobody has dove deep into the escape sequence yet.
Mm-hmm.
So right now we have Agina and the front side of the escape down to Zelda's cell.
Mm-hmm.
There's Ninban's going to pick up their half magic and not a whole lot else.
Yeah, they won't be able to check the chest in Dark Cross in the castle though. But other than that, those chests are still up for grabs.
And of course, who could forget the king of all scams, King Zora, with the lift upgrade picked up by Ninban. That's put Zora into logic, and we've got a lot of money to farm before we reach that point.
Yeah, their rupees aren't very plentiful at the start of the seed.
And Hitsuya making sure to juke around that fireball, because if in the randomizer, if you take a hit while in the fake flipper state, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a much better alternative to what would happen in the base game, where you soft lock.
And Bombo's coming out from the waterfall cave.
Curious to see when and if the flippers come into play to put that into logic, or if we even need that Bombos medallion. Alright, so Ninban going back to the sanctuary, having not find a whole lot else, and that's just 300 rupees on the Zora ledge. You'd like to have that to get the money for King Zora, but not quite yet.
Not quite yet, nah.
So right now we've got, looking at the logic, we can get into Desert Palace and do an unknown amount of checks because of key layout. We can do the front side of Escape, or we can hang out with Agina and get scammed. Not a whole lot of great checks here left. But Ninban heading up into the Lost Woods. They're going to pick up their Master Sword in just a moment, and Hitsuyan's walking over to the desert.
Yep, see our good old friend Nagina. And I would imagine he would probably open up Desert Palace as well.
Unless they find, no, I suppose that they won't have the gloves, so they won't find Dark World access if the hammer pops up here.
Mm-hmm. And also for Desert Palace, for Hitsuyan, he still needs the glove upgrade, and both players still need a source of fire. Speaking of...
Now,
all right then.
Hitsuya, now for this kind of spells bad news for Hitsuyan, as they still need to make their way into Eastern Palace to pick up the lift upgrade to be able to finish Desert. Now, say the second item is, say the second part of our Dark World access is buried on the land Molus. This could end up becoming detrimental, though Ninban looks to be heading up another sequence break. They're heading up the Dark Mountain.
Yes, Ninban won't be able to do a whole lot up in Death Mountain. He'll be able to unlock it to warp there later, but he'll get the item from the old man, which is just a piece of hearts, and then he'll be able to see what's on the top of Spectacle Rock, as well as possibly getting the hint inside.
Alright, so let's see where the keys lie on Hitsuyan's side. Do you know that there is a glove upgrade that makes this dungeon completable, but Hitsuyan doesn't have it, and that's hiding in the big chest of Eastern Palace, and that's a big key, so unknown if we need boots, but we'll have that information in just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
We are not boots locked today. A piece of heart requires a green pendant.
Alright. So, not going to worry about the green pendant this time, and we now have our final tunic upgrade.
So that's both mail. A glove is in. Hello!
Okay, alright, thanks, game. Well,
Alright, so Ninban has knowledge of where to pick up their Titan's mitts, so we know that the hammer is our key to Dark World access. And if I'm a betting person, if you want to be really rough, perhaps that hammer is hanging out with Len Molas that Hitsuyan cannot access at the moment. We will see how this all pans out. Ninban making their way to the back of the escape sequence. And that's a hook shot in desert.
alright. It's a very complex seed, and I didn't see anything of note in the back of escape there.
Alright, so we can confirm the final item for Eastern Palace is on Lan Molas. Hitsuyan does not have access to that at the moment.
Nope.
Ninban, I think, is going to go follow the escape sequence breadcrumb, while Hitsuyan is heading over the Eastern Palace area. Hopefully for them, they're going to head into Eastern and pick up the first glove upgrade, which I imagine they will, and perhaps feel a little bit frustrated.
Yeah, again, like, it's one of those things where you usually don't go into pendant dungeons, but early on, if you don't have a whole lot of checks to do, then it might be your only option, and we saw that on Ninban's side, where he went to Eastern first and was rewarded for getting there early with the gloves.
Sounds like a little bit of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, that's Randomizer in a nutshell.
But what does bring things up and interesting is, now that we have the hook shot, potentially there's a lot of checks that are opened up on Death Mountain once we find the final piece of the logic puzzle, whether that be the flute or the lamp. And if you want to be really rude, imagine if a lamp might cost you 500 rupees?
Again, it's wouldn't be the first time King Sora was holding out on us.
Now,
as trolly as that sounds.
Of course, these runners could choose to ignore that logic, because I think they can definitely handle the making their way, bringing the old man, as Ninban already has. Speaking of Ninban, he's heading in toward new information now, heading down toward Zelda's cell.
The question in chat: do you think Hitsu goes back to Desert Palace to finish it off? I would think so. There's I wasn't counting. I wasn't counting items in Desert. Is there one more?
The Land Molas has the second item.
Okay, all right.
Guess the real question is, do you decide to go there immediately, or with that hookshot in hand, do you decide to follow the mountain breadcrumb? Though we do not yet know where the lamp is.
Yeah, usually for most runners, they tend to put Desert Palace and Mire back to back, so you just mirror. You go to Mire, then mirror back into Desert and do that. That's usually a preferred routing decision. But I don't know. It depends on if Lan Molas does have something on him for progression. But I feel like with the hook in hand, Death Mountain will probably be the better option, because there's so many checks there's so many checks to be made there.
One would definitely agree with that. Hitsuyan picking up their big key, they're going to open up and find their lift upgrade in just a moment after they find out about sweet corn on pizza. Ninban, picking up their fire rod in just a moment. I think this will be our chance to see what the Land Molas are holding on to.
Yeah, Ninban will be able to, won't have to worry about double dipping Desert, and we'll be able to finish that in one go.
They, of course, won't know that until they get inside to find out where the keys fall, only to see the compass on the torch. Boots not required as of yet, and Boots definitely nowhere to be seen as of yet. Looks like Hitsuyan is first going to go at least check the back of the escape sequence before making any other plays. We'll see where they go afterward, after finding nothing inside.
Yeah, I didn't catch it on the Ninban's side when he went to the back of escape, but I didn't see a whole lot of importance.
Alright, Hitsuyan taking a look. It's in a book. It's Desert Palace. We're heading deep in. Let us see what the Land Molas are holding on to in just a few. After they pick up their hookshot, which they'll probably be happy to see, but wish they had it before they made their first trip up the mountain.
Alright,
All right.
Hitsuyan. Looks like Hitsuyan is going up to... Probably going to the Death Mountain as well.
Seeing them trend upward there tells me they're definitely thinking, all right, the lamp's got to be somewhere. I'm heading up the mountain. There's just too many items here as Ninban gets their knowledge of the green pendant. As we find out, there's just single hearts from the hoarder crab. So we'll follow our spark through the dark to bring the old man back to his cave. Ninban making their way across Desert Palace. As a reminder here, this is a link to the Past Randomizer League here.
Mhm.
We're on week 2 of the schedule. This is open mode. The Ninban on the left representing Team Les France Canadiens, and Team Awesome on Hitsuyan's side. Now, Team Awesome won 2 of their races in the first week and have 6 points, while the Canadians only won 1. The top three finishing teams will face off in the playoff stage after these 6 weeks, with the top team getting the bye.
Yep, and the first 2 weeks have been pretty simple with standard and open mode, but later in the league we'll be facing off with more interesting modes, including cross-world key sanity, so that'll be a very interesting mode to see.
Definitely will be next week. We will have inverted, and then week 4 co-op runs, which should be a lot of fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Hitsuyan picking up their red mail on the mountain and the knowledge that glove number 2 is in Skull Woods.
Mm-hmm.
Ninban making their way out of Desert Palace. They're making their way back to Land Molus to see what second item the desert is holding on to.
Meanwhile, Hitsuyan's going to go over to the eastern portion of Death Mountain with the hookshot in hand and check up on those chests. I believe it is 7 chests, including Spiral Cave.
I believe
lots of potential.
I believe it comes to 8 with Spiral Cave, with 7 being in Paradox.
Oh, that's right. There's 5, 7, and 1. Yeah, 8.
Quite the bevy of potential items here. We're still 1 piece away from the Dark World, and we know that has to be the hammer, as the second glove is locked in the Dark World. And we're getting the Cane of Samaria here in Paradox Cave.
All right. Nice.
There's another nice piece. Nice piece of one of those items we definitely have to find in this seed. Well, potentially.
My money, heart piece, heart container, more rupees, heart piece.
All right, so nothing. The Cane and Paradox Cave is in, and that's the hammer on Land Molus for Ninban.
Oh
They
boy!
got their first crystal and Dark World access at 23 minutes.
Nice.
And if you're a fan of Hitsuyan, you're feeling kind of bad because they're gonna have to go back and double dip desert just to pick up that hammer.
Yep. And with that, Ninban's gonna head over to the Dark World.
Right, so we see that there's 300 rubies on the floating island. Hitsuyan's gonna make their way through Spiral Cave. Curious to see if this comes up with anything of note, even though we know it won't be Dark World access. Ninban walking out of the house and heading south. I think it's time to head to a cave formerly known as Hype. Hitsuyan on the right-hand side making a long trudge through Spiral, hoping to find their hammer. Unfortunately, not to be the case, but it could be something interesting yet.
Just 20 rupees.
All right, Ninban heading into the cave formerly known as Hype. We'll see what happens.
All right, let's see what we have in Hype Cave, everyone.
Our Guardian has bombs, followed with sticks, and money. Stick.
Worst. And that's
Stick. I'm gonna call that a stick cave.
Yeah, that is the worst Hype Cave I've ever seen.
All right, we have 5-6 crystals in Pod and Swamp. Pod and Ice Palace. Green pendant coming up in Swamp Palace. I believe that was a pendant TR.
That was a pendant, Thieves Town.
Pendant Thieves Town.
Is-
I can't read. And oh boy, Pendant Thieves Town. My favorite.
It looks like Ninban is gonna head over to Palace of Darkness and get the payment over with while he has the money.
Definitely a good decision here, and it is a completable dungeon for Ninban, though not entirely in logic unless the lamp turns up inside, though Ninban doesn't care about dark rooms.
Nah.
And Ninban hammering out the differences as the extortionist Kiki opens the door for us. Quite a lot of items available to us in Palace of Darkness. And Ninban is heading back, as Hitsuyan's gonna go ahead and get the bad news about nothing being here in the escape sequence. They need to head back to Desert, and as far as I can see, that's their last location.
Yeah, I think so. Hitsuyan's gotta head back and defeat Landmo for the hammer.
Alright, and they're heading south, probably toward the desert. Ninban. So far we found just a keys. We're not bow locked in Pod, though we don't care. We've already got the bow.
Yeah, we're fine.
See, it's just a question of how do we decide to route this, and we're heading down to the bottom first.
Okay, just a compass.
More to be seen here in Pod, and I almost seemed like they were heading up for a depth warp, but I think they were just getting horrendously bullied by all of those things.
Getting not having a time there.
Stelphos heads are quite rude, and some bombs are held with the fishes.
Alright.
Will they even ignite?
There are different types of bombs.
As it just seems that none of the enemies want to cooperate for Ninban here. As they're going to head on back and hopefully easily dispatch these Garaya.
Yeah, so with the bombs with the fish's head, that means that bombs can either be on Zora King or they could be on Catfish.
Alright, so what are our two bow-locked items here in Pod? A key, because we had to find lots of keys.
Yeah, yep. And another key. Alright, cool.
Things that go jingle. That's the story of Pod.
And looks like Ninban is taking a death warp. Alright.
Spike trap to the face, and they're heading back to the beginning here. Hitsuyan gonna make their way to take care of Landmolus. They'll get their unfortunate news that perhaps if they run it a bit better, they'd be more efficient, but that is Randomizer.
Probably thinking I should have done this earlier, but again, that is the nature of Randomizer.
Sometimes there is not much you can do about that. Alright, so Ninban making the way back through. See if they set up the hammer yump here. I don't think we've seen the big key turn up, so most likely not.
Ninban just got the big key. It was in the previous rooms.
Aha!
Yeah.
Ninban gonna stumble their way through the dark here to pick up 2 more chests. But we got a fire out, so we can just light that torch to our right. As Ninban's scooping up some rupees so they can perhaps see what's on the king of all scams that ends up being potential.
Hey, there's a hammer for Hitsuyan.
Hammer. Yep. And their first crystal at 29 minutes in. Now let's see what they do with that newly upgraded arsenal. Where do they start in the dark world?
Meanwhile, Ninban is traversing through the dark maze, and literally the dark, and getting the rest of the chest here.
I have a feeling that Hitsuyan's probably heading to Stick Cave.
I think you might be going through the north port, through the Kakariko portal.
I bet you they're thinking, I have the fire rod,
Mm-hmm.
and I know the Titan's mitts are inside of Skull Woods. I'm going there.
Yep.
Definitely a smart play here, and Ninban so far has not found anything of note in the Palace of Darkness. And that continues to be the trend.
All right, looks like...
Don't want to save and quit and have
yeah, don't do... Oh, okay.
It would have... well, when you consider their options there for a Death Warp, they're on Red Mail and 10 Hearts. It's going to take a really long time to Death Warp that.
Yeah, I think at that point might as well just leave. It's unfortunate. It's too bad we don't have the mirror just yet. And with Swamp Palace being a pendant, it may not be needed.
So we'll see if that mirror even turns up. Alright, Hitsuyan making their way back towards Skull Woods to follow the breadcrumb of that Titan's Mitts hint. And Ninban probably going to follow suit. Alright, so we're getting a map check on Hitsuyan's side. Happy to find out that there's a crystal here in Skull Woods. Ninban making the way across. They're going to head into the Dark Wood World in just a moment.
Mm-hmm. And with Hitsuyan having the King of Samurai, he'll be able to have an easier time here in Skull Woods. And we know that the gloves are the first item, but what could be the second item?
Well, speaking of first item, there's the Titan's Mitts for Hitsuyan.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine the next group is going to go ahead and just dispatch the moth now.
Hitsuyan didn't check the other chests at the start of Skullwood City.
No, he went straight toward the back, which I think is pretty much the ideal play here. Because if both items turn up in the back, you're golden, and you need to go back here anyway.
Right.
Start with what you know you got to do, and then head to what you may have to do afterward. Just like heading straight to the boss, as opposed to heading toward that under the bridge cave. When we also consider that we don't have access to the mirror, and we're on Red Mail and 10 Hearts right now, so a Death Warp is going to take you a long time. And I'm not sure what happened to that fire rod shot there on Hitsuyan's side.
Okay.
That was really odd.
I've never seen that before.
Right, and Hitsuyan dropping into their jate with the mighty moth. Though, when you really break it down, the challenge to this boss isn't in the boss itself, but in its arena. Alright, so we're just gonna keep this moth off the spikes. It's easier said than done. But
Right,
nice.
very nice. And there's the second item.
There's 5 rupees, so there's no more checks that'll have to be made here on Hitsuyan's side. The meta routing definitely paying off. So the front side of Skull Woods and that chest under the bridge, definitely not something we're looking for.
Alright, Hitsuyan, where do you go from here? Do you dip into Pendant Thieves Town, or do you go elsewhere?
I think just to maybe an okay check is to just maybe do the first 4 of Thieves Town, as it's just kind of counted as an overworld check at this point, and then come back if you really are forced to. Though that play becomes less attractive without the ability to get out of the dungeon quickly.
That's right. Without the mirror, it does make things a little bit complicated for the runners. But without the lamp, Pot still isn't in logic. Where else can you go from here? I think the next place we can go to is Hera.
Well, we haven't seen any of the Village of Outcasts yet.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
as we find, there's 10 arrows on top of the bumper ledge, so the cape not needed this scene. Unless, of course, there's something in Spike Cave later on.
More arrows for everyone. In case you needed more. In case you needed more for your bow.
I shall call this the stick seed.
I think Ninban looks like you might be heading over to. Did Ninban do Ice Rock Cave?
I'm not sure, but perhaps they may also be setting up a fake flipper.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And many things are active, but seeing that sword pulled out there, it looks like they're setting up a fake flipper, indeed.
Right, just kidding. We have 300. Ooh, got some. Now we're talking money. Very nice.
That's a potentially strong find here. Zora has been in Logic for quite a long time. Now Hitsuyan can afford it. And it looks like Hitsuyan is at least going to be dipping the first 4 of this Pendant Thieves Town. Why oh why is it Pendant Thieves Town?
like the one dungeon you don't want to see be a pendant.
It's something that's such very early available in Logic. Once you get access to the Dark Realm, you can complete it. Alright, Hitsuya, our Ninban getting the bad news that there's nothing on the hobo, likely to head up to the Zora area, and they're going to be short on money for that King of All Scams, which has a 50-50 shot of having bombs.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing to note, we did both get the hint of there being bombs on the fish. Actually, I think only Ninban had that hint, because I would think that was one in pod.
Yeah, that was the one in pod, yeah. That was the one that Ninban received.
And there's not a whole lot here in Thieves Town. It looks like Hitsuyan's gonna press on.
Yeah, let's see what else if we find anything of use here.
So we get the Bombos Medallion on Ninban's side from there. Well, let's see if this pays off, though. We are kind of running out of logical locations here.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't find anything of note in the Palace of Darkness, though it was not counting items, and there may be a chance of the Helmasaur King holding on to something.
This is true. It looks like Ninban is going to be re-entering the... Actually, no. Curious if Ninban will be making the Ice Palace play.
I mean, we do have the Fire Rod and Bombos Medallion. We do know that the small key is fire-locked in the basement of Hera, so no coffee break for us today. Tower of Hera in Logic for us right now. Well, actually, it's not in Logic because we don't have access to the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, either the flute or the lamp is locking away quite a bit of this seed. And of course, the flippers are locking quite a bit, but Ninban disregarding is going to make the dip into Ice Palace as we find the Tempered Sword.
Meanwhile, got a Tempered Sword.
And that's rough news, as there's a unique item in the big chest of Swamp Palace.
Yeah, Ice Palace is definitely
It's an interesting gamble. I mean, it's something we're definitely going to have to do, but not going to be locking away any of our logical keys here. It could be, I mean, looking at the logic side, the only thing this dungeon could really be holding on to would be the flute or the ice rod.
Mm-hmm.
Which are items they're definitely going to need, but...
What counts as a unique item? Typically a unique item that you can see on your menu is unique, as well as the single arrow, I believe, is considered a unique item. And unique item requires the hook shots.
Alright, so let me see. What is I'm going to pull up that... While we take care of our scripted blind fight here, let me look at that list of unique items. So items that are not of the items that are on your inventory would be the single arrow counts.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as that, it could be anything else that's
Ooh.
inventory.
And a Quake medallion coming out from Blind.
No idea if we need that yet. We've yet to see what either dungeon that's locked behind a medallion it will be opened by, but if that Quake medallion is required, that's a big boon for Hitsuyan.
Yeah, and both Meyer and Turtle Rock are crystals. You could use one medallion for both, or they could use their own different medallions. We'll have to see when we get there.
As we find out that the brewery is filled with the butter sword.
Oh
Some
boy.
butter beer here. Unique item
Nice.
and some... Oh, wow. The unique item hints coming in fast. We've got a unique item locked behind the Big Red Bomb and in Swamp Palace. Ninban will have access to half of that Big Red Bomb puzzle. In fact, had they finished the Palace of Darkness, they would have the Big Red Bomb.
Mm-hmm.
However, we're still looking for logical access to Ice Palace via the flippers, not to be found in hammer pegs for Hitsuyan. And there's also a unique item behind the hook shot, which could also be a duplicate. Which, I mean, no, it would be a duplicate hint there. So behind the hook shot is Hookshot Cave, 3 chests of Swamp Palace, or Ganon's Tower. That would be the Moldorm chest. So just a lot of these hints that are vague yet terrifying.
Right, so anything on Lumberjack Cave? I don't know if anyone checked that spot.
No one has yet to check Lumberjack Cave, but with no one having found the boots as of yet, it's not really a priority because you need those boots to get inside.
Mm-hmm.
Hitsuyan now using 1 in 30 digs to find. There's our lamp.
There's the lamp.
Buried underground. It's interesting that Ninban chose to not go through the Dark Village before going into Ice Palace here. So with that lamp in hand, we've now gained our logical access to the Tower of Hera. We've now gained our access to Pod. It's an all of Death Mountain. We also, given our equipment, we can get to Laser Bridge.
Yep, with the
depending on medallions. We have the fire rod, we have the cane, we have the hammer. If we have the medallions, Turtle Rock is available up to Laser Bridge.
Yeah. Well, good thing for good news for Hitsuyan is that Pod cannot be fully completed. And Hitsuyan is now heading up to High Cave, ?
Stick Cave.
Stick Cave.
Stick Cave. That's 300 rupees for Ninban. That is their Zora money now. And that's been sitting in Logic for quite a long time, though it's a 50-50 chance of bombs.
Meanwhile, Ninban will be heading over to the Cold Stair fight in Ice Palace.
It looks like Hitsuyan's probably heading Pod.
Yeah. Yeah, Ninban with a Master Sword, though, will have a little bit of a time, but does have a hammer and the rest of the fire rod shots, so...
They have magic prefer...
Ooh.
Unfortunately, Cold Stair hugs still really hurt.
They hurt for a lot.
And it looks like Ninban's gonna go dust themselves off and head back toward Cold Stair. That's a lot of time losses. Hitsuyan's making their way up the Pyramid of Power.
And we have just some rupees.
Alright, so after this, after they check Catfish, I'd imagine Hitsuyan, with the items they have in hand, they're probably going to take care of Pod and see what's on the Helmasaur King. The last check we did not see. And in fact, they're saying screw Catfish for now. I'm heading to Pod.
Yeah, with the Butter Sword at hand, pretty sure Hitsuyan will have little to no problems.
Definitely interesting to see where that's going through. And as we make our way back toward Cold Stare and some recursive checks, if you've not already given these runners a follow on Twitch, check out the links in chat, and I really suggest you do so. They're putting themselves out there for your entertainment and mine, so give them a little bit of love, won't you?
And also, please be sure to check out the rest of the matches in the Link to the Past Randomizer League. We are in week 2 of the league with a few more weeks to go before we do playoffs, and it's we got some interesting modes for you guys coming up. So hope you guys stick around.
Yeah, the rest of this week's matches are in open mode. Next week, we'll get away week 3. We find ourselves in Inverted. Afterwards, we're looking at a co-op run for week 4, and Crossworld Key Sanity heading into week 5 with a standard mode palette cleanser in the final week.
Yeah,
also,
Crossworld Key Sanity. That's I don't envy whoever has to run that. So, good luck to those who do.
Well, as a reminder of the rules, each team is made up of 3 runners. With this is the Death Mountain division. The team Awesome is Hitsuyan1337, and Yoshi, while Le France Canadien is Isipidos Rod, Raiwek, and Ninban. Each runner has to complete at least 2 races throughout the entire league. So if you don't think you're strong at the Crossworlds Key Sanity, you can leave that to ones who like to play that. So we'll see where that falls in as we get through. And here is round 2 for Ninban heading into Cold Stare. Hopefully the puffs and the snowballs will play a little bit more nicely with him this time. And that's the end of their fire rod.
Yep, now we're gonna do some spin it to win with the Master Sword.
Now they should have access to a red potion should they find themselves in health trouble again. Just that last death came so fast, but that's the end of Cold Stare for Ninban. Will it pay off for them? Unfortunately, just in a crystal. But looking at it, I mean, there really wasn't much that could be logically found here.
Yeah, there wasn't really anything of note in Ice Palace, was there?
No, and if you even looked at the logic crumbs, I mean, honestly, only the Ice Rod could have really turned up inside. Because we know the Ether Medallion is sitting on it's in the
library, yeah.
It's in the library. We don't know where the boots are, and we don't even know which medallions are required to open our dungeons. I'd like to comment that little bit of mechanics used by Hitsuyan, just maybe not intentional, but working out pretty well there. As Hitsuyan jukes everyone's least favorite Helmasaur. And if you like what you see here on the Randomizer League, stay tuned later tonight on the twitch.tv/ALTTPR League. There will be another race tonight at 8:30 Eastern. Definitely check that out if you like what you're seeing here. And for those asking in chat, there is a guaranteed boots hint somewhere, but it doesn't have to expressly say the boots. It could say unique item, and we have 3 unique item hints hanging out there. What do we got? What do we got for unique item hints? The behind the hook shot, big shots of Swamp Palace, and the big red bomb. Which Ninban has half of the pieces to. And we'll have the second piece here shortly.
Yeah, Hitsuyan's gonna go for the... He might be doing a death work here as well, but...
Why did he get a heat, or did he get the... Interesting little bit of... Oh, I know what happened. He was setting up the death warp, and he got trolled by the Sangheart. Or a heart piece. He got a forced health refill, which didn't work in their favor.
Yeah, so it was a heart piece in the last test that he checked that refilled his health.
One of those unfortunates. You gotta check this, but it comes back to bite you.
Alright, meanwhile, Ninban is returning, has made his return to Palace of Darkness.
Palace of Darkness 2. Helmasaur Boogaloo. We'll see what if he's holding on to anything at this point.
Yeah, I haven't been counting items in Pod. I think there should be one more item
Now,
on Helma King.
no, hold out here. Now, say the Helmasaur King has the flippers. That would have put Ninban's Ice Palace play into logic, and the Big Red Bomb is holding onto the Ice Rod. Or the flute. That would give Ninban a little bit of their time back that they lost on that ice, that unfortunate cold stare death, as we've been given time back and forth. Hitsuyan finishing out the Thieves' Town only to find the Quake Medallion, and there's no way of knowing if we need that yet, because we have seen none of our pendant requirements yet.
Right. Oh, it's like in chat that the map is on Helma King, so I believe we have found all of our items. Looks like the map is still missing.
Oh, darn.
Yeah,
That's
the
when I
map.
thought the breadcrumbs were going to be fun. But, I mean, we still have the unique item hint from the Big Red Bomb. Ninban is in on Helmasaur King right now, and they can pick up the Red Bomb as soon as they leave from here. So we will see what is out there. I mean, we have 3 unique item hints to follow, but we still have a lot of unique items in here. We have every fetch quest item available to be found.
Yep. And also, both of our runners are now in the Helmasaur King fight, with Ninban just shooting one silver arrow to the face, and he goes down.
Now we're definitely hammering out our differences with the King of all Helmasaurs now, as Hitsuyan a hammer and a gold sword swipe, and that's the end of that.
Alright, Ninban, where are we going now? We're gonna save and quit.
Right,
I would imagine he's going for that. He's going for that red bomb. He would have to at this point.
I think the play is definitely to go for that.
Meanwhile, where does Hitsuyan go, though? Also gonna save and quit. And going back up the mountain. I think he's gonna get over to the dark side of Death Mountain.
Yeah, Dark Death Mountain is available, as well as, all of Turtle Rock up to Laser Bridge. Potentially. We don't know what the medallion requirement is.
Yes.
But if it comes up Quake...
Oh, that's gonna be...
Oh, and chat, bring up the good point. We still have to take care of Tower of Hera as well.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
So we're going to head to Hera first, and then come out and do Dark Death Mountain. And then there's a bevy of checks to be done there. We have Super Money Cave, we have Hookshot Cave, Spike Cave, not in Logic yet, because we haven't found an invincibility item.
Correct.
There's a lot of places for it to be coming up. Alright, Ninban is walking up the mountain, escorting their big red bomb.
Hey, let's see what the Pyramid Fairy has today.
And they're also probably going to check the pyramid item just to see $20 on top.
Yep. Alright, meanwhile, Hitsuyan is back up the mountain, and we'll check the tablets.
Right,
oh! Wait, Ninban.
We got the hint that said there's a unique item plus X. We found a unique item. Who needs to open that? We don't need to open that chest.
Oh, that's right.
It said specifically unique item plus X. That was the unique item plus trash.
Okay, gotcha. Where was that hint? I don't remember.
Was that in Ice Palace? Alright, so we have the mirror, though we don't know if it's logically required as yet, but we do have that hint that the big chest in Swamp Palace is holding on to a unique item. And there's my favorite hint, some caches in Ganon's Tower.
Of course, thank you, game.
I think that's the one hint that's guaranteed to be true. Because there is junk filled to Ganon's Tower, there's guaranteed to be some money somewhere in there. All right, and here we get our first of our 2 fishes here. And I'm sorry, in all this chaos of the Big Red Bomb, we missed Flippers being on the ether tablet.
Oh boy, now Ice Palace is in logic.
So now that gives us our Ice Palace logic and logical access to the mirror, which could give us access to Swamp Palace, but we're getting our first check of King Zora now.
Well, we know that Catfish had bombs, so
there's a good chance that Zora has something. It could also be bombs.
This is true. Yeah, both of them could have bombs.
All right, so the mirror is on the. So what a little bit of just a chain of logic we had with the lamp being in the dig game to open up to where the hookshot is. Well, actually, we found that.
Sorry.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Skamazed once again, as Hitsuyan is going to take care of Moldorm.
Yeah,
and that's feeling a little bit frustrated.
That is a scare.
Oh, what tangled webs are woven. That's the end of Moldorm here. We'll see what they're holding on to. We know the basement chest is nothing. That's $20, so just the crystal here in the Tower of Hera. But you just kind of tangle where everything was.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. We instantly got the book.
Yes.
Which gave us access to Desert, but in order to get to Desert, we had to go to Eastern Palace to pick up the gloves.
Correct.
And Nagina to pick up the fire rod. Open that up. That's the hammer. Now we're in Dark World.
Yes.
Now we have our Titan's mitts hanging out in Skullwoods and nothing else.
Correct.
So we have to get the lamp from the dig game to get through Pod for one of our 5-6 crystals. The other one being unlocked via the ether tablet, the flippers into Ice Palace to get the second. To pick up the mirror to unlock, we don't know what yet, if it's even required.
Alright, here's going to be the first of our medallion checks with Turtle Rock.
And if you're a Hitsuyan fan, you're hoping for vanilla, but no, now we need to find the boots.
Oh boy.
We need the boots in order to gain access to there, because the library ledge has the ether medallion.
Now, the boots could be in Hookshot Cave. There is a hint that says their unique item is here.
Yep, and it's not going to be in this chest. So any of these next 3 chests requires the hookshot. There's bombs. We know there's a unique item somewhere in here. The last chest is our unique item, and today, our payoff is... What? So it's not here. The unique item behind the hookshot is not here.
It could maybe... Do you maybe talking about Swamp Palace?
It's left side. It's the back side of Swamp Palace, or Moldorm chest, or Moldorm 2 chest.
Ooh.
Alright, so Super Bunny Cave coming up with nothing, so we've got to find those boots. And there's 2 hints that are pointing us in the direction of Swamp Palace. Give a shout out, a thank you to Slightly Mad Pixels for the 100-bit cheer. Thank you for keeping the lights on here at Speed Gaming.
Hey, thanks. Alright, with Hitsuyan with the flippers, he now has logical access to Ice Palace.
So imagine they're going to go ahead and clear through Ice Palace to see 100 rupees on Lake Hylia Island, which is in logic with Ninban's mirror.
Probably will not be going back for that.
And for those saying...
Let's see. I'm sorry. Mirror was in the Pyramid Ferry. Ninban got it.
Hypothesizing on locations that are hookshot locked, the only location that requires a hookshot in Ganon's Tower is the validation chest, as the other chests can be reverse routed to get to.
Oh, the one that's the one with the fire snakes, right? I think that one's still. Oh, sorry.
For the hints, for the hint system, it's not one of those that's designated.
Oh, actually, the Selfos room is technically hookshot lock on the left side. I don't think you can.
I'm just going off the official hints explained document.
Okay. I was just trying to replay back in my mind.
All right, so Ninban mirroring over. They're going to take care of the Tower of Hera. Not going to find too much inside, but will pick up the flippers here to put their Ice Palace dive back in logic.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to feel pretty good about that play. And there's another thing that says unique item requires the hook shot. As the Stealthless Knights are not cooperating for Hitsuyan, but now they're down.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a climb up the tower. As we're making some recursive checks, just a reminder, this is the Link to the Past Randomizer League. We're only in week 2, and there's lots to be seen. There's even another race tonight on the ALTTPR League channel on Twitch. And that'll be at 8:30 Eastern. And that is going to be quite the matchup later tonight. And that will be Ak the Boker versus Dante.
I think we have a number of matches coming up for the rest for this week as well. So
and that is a League Hylia division, as we are on the Death Mountain division. And that's Team 4K, Fourth, and Forehead versus the Titans Mitts.
it's not just Titans Mitts, it's the Titans Mitts.
Indeed, the Titans Mitts. And there's
there's
the
the hit. There's
hint
it.
for Hitsuyan, so they know they're going to be put that way. So after they get done here, they'll be able to follow that breadcrumb of the big red bomb and find the mirror inside. But right now, has the mirror paid off for anything?
I don't think so. I don't know. Did we see what was on the floating island?
The floating island was money, and Lake Hylia was money.
Yeah.
Though we have 2 unique item hints that are basically almost guaranteed to Swamp Palace. So I think Swamp, and as much as you don't like it, Pendant Swamp looks to be the play.
Well, so we know that the green pendant is not going to be of much use to us this time, but for the rest of the chest in Swamp Palace could have something of importance, and I think that maybe we have to go next. I can't think of any other place we can go to.
I think definitely, if you're looking at just pulling up the data from the hint system, you're looking at Swamp Palace being the play.
Because we need the flute to access Meyer. We need the boots to get Ether out of the library.
I think we're seeing a sequence break here on Ninban's side. They're going to go ahead and tank their way through. Just go ahead and tank their way through Spike Cave because they have a red potion. I think with the amount of hearts they have, this is doable. Almost definitely at this point.
Yes, this is definitely this is a risky play coming from Ninban. Have to use that red potion up.
And it looks like we may not get to see the payoff.
Ooh, alright, well hopefully we'll see if Hitsuyan makes his way to Spike Cave.
Well, we can, perhaps when they inventory next, we'll see if anything of note popped up. And they're probably gonna have to, they will have to inventory in just a moment, because it looks like they're heading to Swamp Palace.
Yeah, got the flippers, mirror, hookshot, ready to go for Swamp Palace.
And we have 2 hints that are pointing us toward there being items here. A unique item in the big chest, as well as a unique item behind the hookshot, which can describe the 3 chests in the back, as well as on Argus. So it's 5 checks in here that the hint system is potentially saying there's a unique item here, and we do know there is a guaranteed boots hint, though it doesn't have to expressly say boots.
Gotcha. Right, meanwhile, Hitsuyan is gonna do the little dance with Cold Stare with the butter sword. He'll make this fight quick.
Okay, and now we're just gonna say the boots is in Swamp Palace.
Oh my gosh, the seed. Just the seed. That's all I have to say.
Just take and that's with the butter sword in hand. Hitsuyan makes use of the troll stare, just in case I wanted to get rid of any kind of suspense I was trying to build. Screw that. What a kick in the teeth.
Ugh.
So all right, chat. So what do you think? Which of the 5 checks that we know that could be the boots is it? Tell me what you got.
We said there's an item that was in the big chest of Swamp Palace, right?
Yeah, one said big chest, and one said requires the hook shot. So that's 5 checks.
I'm seeing not big chest.
4 checks. 4 checks. It's 5 total.
Obviously left side. I think at that point.
I mean, it could also be left side. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
As the Stealthos is being non-cooperative, Hitsuyan is likely going to go turn in the red bomb and get their access to the mirror and then head to Swamp Palace. Because this seat is rude. Now, say the boots are on the left side, that means what if the last of our Go Mode items, the Ice Rod and the Blue Cane are in here?
You also need the flute to get access to Myers.
Oh, the flute, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So say the rest of our Go Mode items are here now.
And we also never found a hint for left side swamp, so...
Alright, here's our first check here in Swamp Palace. That's the big key. Go open the big chest. Give us the hype, Ninban.
Come on, do it. Do it.
Walking straight up, walking over, open it up, and that's the shovel.
That is a unique item, yeah.
Alright, so there's a unique item in the big chest. Now we have to find out what unique item is behind the hook shot here.
Meanwhile, Hitsuyan has bombed the way into the Pyramid Fairy and will be getting the mirror.
And forgetting that there's 20 bucks on the right side.
Yeah.
So now we're looking at potential, just one of the other fetch quests being this unique item, and we have to go left side. Because this game is rude.
I think
and one thing to note, Ninban down to 4 hearts and used their red potion.
He did, yeah.
Here, and now we're, of course, going to get bothered, but I think we have boots, folks!
Oh, he can go fast. He can definitely go fast.
Alright, so there is our boots in Swamp Palace, as well as the Cane of Burna I asked for.
So this is a stacked Swamp Palace, and I don't want it to be. Oh, that's...
So now the real question is, I mean, what was... obviously nothing was in Spike Cave, because I didn't see anything new on the inventory. What if that just gave us our logical access to Laser Bridge, where the Ice Rod is?
Well, that's mean.
That's also just more of Swamp Palace being Swamp Palace.
I also like to point out that Ninban is still a Master Sword.
They still have yet to visit the Village of Outcasts, because both of them are in the Village of Outcasts. One in Thieves Town.
Yeah, one of them's in Thieves Town, right? Which I don't know at this point Ninban will even...
Now, we still haven't seen the flute or what is in Misery Mire. I'm kind of feeling that Laser Bridge has the flute at this point. Because as uncooperative as the seat has played. Now, is this item count? I don't think that... I don't know if this... actually, that might have been the last item in Swamp there.
I know we found the compass in the first chest in Swamp. We'll see if Ninban re-enters.
Or do you even re-enter at this point? I mean, so much just became available, and they're going to head on over. They're going to knock out some of these mirror checks, knock out the Bombos tablet, and then probably going to go pick up their Bolt coin in just a few after they make some of those other mirror checks like K45. Yeah. What a back and forth seed we've got here.
Yeah, this is... Not really sure what to make of this seed, to be perfectly honest, but got some bombs from the...
The Bombs Medallion.
Yep, bombs from the Bombos tablet.
Yeah, no, drop the O. It's just a bombs tablet this time.
Just bombs. Bombs tablet.
Pray to the goddesses, receive bombs.
Yes, Chad makes a good point that Ninban does not know that Turtle Rock requires ether yet. It's a good point.
But I think at this point, with where they're routing, I think you pick up ether regardless.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna knock out K45 here. See what's inside. They'll pick up the nothing from Stumpy, and then hopefully do the dig game and pick up their lamp to make the rest of the seed easier.
Yeah, Ninban also got the shovel, so he'll mirror to the dig spot, and
of course, what's not to be discounted is when he gets this lamp, that'll put a lot of what he did back into logic. and we're gonna get to see our shovel spot.
Meanwhile, Hitsuyan is going to be doing the left side play here.
And for chivalry, we get lag, apparently. Alright, so moving on through Swamp Palace here. We know Hitsuyan has a bevy of items to find, and it looks like they're checking left side, so...
Yep, he's doing it.
I mean, if the flute turns up here...
I mean, at this point, like, I'm not leaving anything up to chance, like... Just check every nook and cranny for what you need.
Alright, so Ninban has a large amount of digs to find their lamp. Hitsuyan making the way to left side swamp. There's a potential for one item being left here.
Right, there's the lamp for Ninban.
Leave it up to the earth to light your way. Now, Ninban will also have access to Jeremiah, which Hitsuyan did not check.
Correct, yeah.
As Hitsuyan did not have the mirror at the time. So we'll see what kind of dwarven craftsman we have today. There's a piece of heart for Hitsuyan. I think that just about nails the left side swamp coffin.
Diamond heart container.
Alright, so Ninban has their access to Turtle Rock, which is now completable up to Laser Bridge for them.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and Ninban making their way over to turn in Jeremiah to see what kind of dwarven craftsmen are hanging out in Hyrule today. Hitsuyan about to open up their big chest and find their shovel. Actually, they've already done so. They're heading back to find their boots. And we know hammer pegs is a whole lot of nothing, but Ninban getting to run through it as opposed to Hitsuyan taking the slow whack-a-mole method.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what our blacksmiths are creating for us today.
Well, Jeremiah was some kind of weird frog guy. Well, now he's a dwarven craftsman, and we'll see what he's making.
Just 20 rupees.
And we've got ourselves some minters. Thank you for hanging out with us here at the Dwarven Mint.
Boots are in Swamp Palace. It was in the flooded room.
I am amused as someone asked in chat where the boots were just before the chest was open. Alright, so Ninban finally going to be on Tempered Sword. They could have had this a long time ago.
A little bit of upgrade in the offense department.
I mean, that is the second biggest jump in damage in the game. With the only damage jump that is larger is that between the regular and silver arrows.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Hitsuyan will have a much faster Argus fight here, as they only have to poke and swipe. And not to be discounted, there's a lot of offense and safety to be found in this seed. We're on red mail and a lot of hearts.
Mm-hmm. Maybe once we do make the climb up to Ganon's Tower, I'm sure these guys will be fine. But Ninban looks like to be opening up Thieves Town.
Now, we're curious to see how much they decide to dive of Thieves Town, as we know the Quake medallion's in the back, but we don't know yet if that Quake is required. We know we have Ether for Turtle Rock, and we do not have access to Misery Mire yet.
Mm-hmm. We're still missing the flute to gain access, and we're also missing the ice rod to complete Turtle Rock.
And right now it's pointing toward one of those laser bridge.
So if we have the ice rod on Laser Bridge, and then the flute is on Trinax.
Or better yet, the flute is on laser bridge and the ice rod is on Vitreous.
Oh, that's evil. I like it.
I'm here to bring the hype, not to bring the kindness.
Yes. So our players did go into the Eastern Palace pretty early in the seed, and that's where they found the first glove upgrade. And either was found in the library, which I believe Hitsuyan will be making his way to get.
Well, he absolutely he's going to make his way there because he opened up. He has the knowledge of ether medallion being required.
Mm-hmm.
So 100% Hitsuyan goes to pick it up. Now Hitsuyan has done every other check over here except for the purple chest. So I'd imagine that they're probably going to do the blacksmith and then take care of the purple chest. That's another location we have not quite seen.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of forgetting, they've already turned Stumpy into a tree. As Ninban gets a reminder that the small key was fire-locked in Tower of Hera.
And the game... More sticks!
Pays off again!
More sticks. All the sticks.
I always wanted to be a stick collector.
Everyone in chat gets sticks today, as thanks of watching today.
You get sticks, and you get sticks! And it looks like Ninban is deciding to dive all of these down and is going to pick up their butter sword.
Nice.
Alright, and Hitsuyan using the mirror so they can go pick up their ether medallion. And yes, chat, 6 minutes in, we did get the nail in the pedestal coffin. Because that book came up instantly in this seed.
Yep. Yeah, pedestal is just a bee in a bottle.
Unless you happen to be a fan of B-Torp, I don't think you're going to spend the time to pick up the pendants.
Nah.
But speaking of pendants here, we have a potential for all 3 pendant dungeons being required depending on what opens up Misery Mire.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if were all 3 items found in Eastern besides the gloves.
That is a really good question. I'll admit that was a long time ago.
I was like,
recall on that.
Also, first 15-20 minutes of the seed.
And for asking the question in chat, oh boy, did we see Zora! All right, all 1 rupee of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've seen Zora, and we have seen Catfish, so neither of them had anything useful, so...
So right now, I mean, we've got a few more mirror-locked locations that we can check here. We have access to Bonk... We have access to Bonk Rocks, we have access to the King's Tomb here, we also have access to Graveyard Ledge.
And just some money coming out of King's Tomb.
Right, and this is just rejoice as Ninban has finished their coin collection.
Nice.
And I believe Hitsuyan did as well. And Chad bringing up a good point. At this point, it looks like if Graveyard Ledge is the key, Hitsuyan may have set that up for last location.
Oh,
but
the flute.
So Swamp Palace also locked away the flute.
So that tip into Swamp Palace was absolutely required.
Oh, it was already absolutely required to get our boots to get our ether medallion.
Well,
now
even more something. Now more something.
We just hammered that in more. And now with the boots in hand, Hitsuyan is going to make our first check of the Lumberjack Ledge. Wouldn't that be something if now we find out this is where the ice rod is?
Nope.
Unfortunately, not to be the case.
If only. Next time, though. God, if that had been the ice rod, that would have been icing on the cake. Just saying.
Oh boy, would it have ever been just like, you thought this scene was going to be fun? Well, joke's on you, kid. Alright, so Hitsuyan, I'm going to go ahead and summon the swag duck via the serenade. And then I imagine their first trip is going to Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
He has the coin collection, so he can walk right in. You clear Meyer, you hope to God the ice rod's in that area, and then it's Turtle Rock.
Yeah, we can check Meyer Shed, we can check Checkerboard.
See where this pays off.
Alright, let's see what was if Thieves Town was required.
Going to take care of the Murderdactyl first, and they're going to...
It was required.
Alright, so that's 2 out of our 3 pendant dungeons. That's every pendant dungeon required.
Yep.
We didn't roll an all dungeon seed, but it's certainly playing like one. And for those in chat, the hookshot hint does not require respond to Misery Mire, as that boots bonk that Hitsuyan just did is something the logic would expect you to do. It was decided to be a developer intended trick, as that's the only way to gain access to the refill room on the Ganon's Tower climb. And boy, what a chain of events we have that led us to this point. Now we're on to everyone's favorite game, Where, oh where, oh where, in the name of Din, Furore, or Nehru, is the gall darn ice rod.
Yeah, there's 2 items here in Meyer, and could be here, though Hitsuyan will be looking for those items as he looks for the big key, of course.
Now, what we do have the potential of, I mean, so I don't, have we seen a menu for Ninban since they went into the graveyard ledge?
So
I didn't see if that lagged or not. Alright, so I think Hitsuyan's safe with graveyard ledge at this point. We just need to find ourselves, where is it? Two items. I have not yet seen a unique item here in Misery Mire. Here's a chance now.
Nope.
As Ninban serenades their swag duck. Now, wouldn't that be something if Ninban checks the Mire Shed and it's outside, and this would have saved a bit of go mode, it would have given potential go mode to Hitsuyan. Though the big chest has yet to be seen. The big key.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be here at the cutscene chest.
Everyone's least favorite cutscene, mostly because you don't even get to see it happen.
Nah.
The wall is moving in the next room, but you can't see that from here.
Meanwhile, we have the fire shield coming from the purple chest.
And we're going to get our last hint check. The Moon Pearl is in the Kakariko Tavern.
Thank you, game. Thank you very much.
I appreciate that. And there's the big key, so left side Mire required. Alright, Ninban making their way into the Mire Shed. 2 item locations here to be found. We're looking for an ice rod. And it's not down here, just more sticks.
More sticks.
Sticks for you and sticks for me. That is the story of this seed.
Alright, looks like Ninban's gonna skip on Checkerboard Cave for now, just gonna go straight into Meyer.
And getting the confirmation that I am glad I did Thieves Town right now.
Yep, so you had to go into Eastern to get the gloves, you had to go into Thieves Town to get Quake, and Swamp Palace for pretty much everything else in the seed.
And Hitsuyan at this point still at 0 unique items, or 0 non-dungeon items found. Well, there's one of the 2. Definitely gonna, if I had to sum up the story of this seed in just a few words, I would say pendant dips and lots of sticks.
Yeah, so there was the piece of heart in the big chest. I think I've seen chat saying that there was 50 rupees in the chest on the bridge. So I think actually no. I think there's still an item on Vitreous there.
We were holding on to 2 keys here. I forget exactly how many keys there. Well, I guess we'll see on if on Ninban's screen we'll get that confirmation.
Yeah, it's on Hitsuyan's screen. He did find all of the dungeon items.
All right, so Vitreous is holding out on our final item, and it could very well be the ice rod. And we've got some spooky actions happening on Hitsuyan's side.
Oh, this is my favorite glitch. I still don't know how it works, but I love it every time.
I'll just say it's spooky.
It's spooky and it's definitely in action.
Pendant dips and lots of sticks. I think they're the past randomizer story. Thank you, Chad. All right. Lots of silver arrows.
Silver arrows to the face, too. I mean, not the face, the eyes, I guess.
Silver is to the iris.
Alright, there we go.
And there's a fast and friendly fight, and we get $5.
Alright, I guess let's go off to Turtle Rock, everyone.
So, ice run on Laser Bridge?
Oh, yeah.
And at this point, is there anywhere else for us to check?
Not really, no. I think we've checked everything that's available.
And I mean, we do have a checkerboard cave, and you know there is that chance. I don't remember how many items were in Eastern Palace.
Yeah, I can't remember. Besides the gloves, if there's anything else in there.
Rewind time here.
Oh yeah, green pendant is dead. There is a piece of heart on Sahashala, so don't have to turn that in. Pedestal is dead. There's a bee in a bottle there. Spike Cave was 20 rupees, so nothing of importance there either.
And there's the red meringue.
Yeah, not gonna get. Won't be getting that, sadly.
As much as I love my red boomerang, we're heading up the mountain and into Turtle Rock for Hitsuyan in just a moment. Is Ninban hot on their heels, making their way, trying to find their way to Vitreous. Curious to see, just to look at how the back and forth of the seed has really played out. I just kind of semi-lead trading depending on was this dip good, was this dip bad. I mean, Ninban had access to some items for Hitsuyan did, but I think one thing I really want to call into the difference in this seed was Hitsuyan picked up swords early.
Yes.
Where Ninban did not get access to Tempered or Butter until close to the end of the game, and I can't help but point out that death to the cold stairs, that could have been avoided if he could do a bit more damage.
Yeah, it did take up some time on Ninban's side for having to re-enter Ice Palace and redo the fight.
And that's about 3 minutes you just absolutely cannot get back, and I mean, looks like the difference is right around 2.
Yeah, Ninban will be wrapping up things in Mire while Hitsuyan unlocks Turtle Rock. I think at this point, I think that the ice sword has to be in here. I can't think of any other spots where it could be.
The hammer's on a boss.
Thank you, game. Again,
we had to have the hammer to get to this hint. But thanks.
Yes. You're the greatest hints.
Turning on the color.
Where would we be without you?
Probably still trying to avoid the Swamp Palace dip.
Yeah, that too.
Which was 1000% required. Not giving our boots, our ether medallion, and our flute. I mean, the boots, they came up late, but they also came up big.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right. And we trade some silvers for some iris here. Ninban has taken down Victory as Hitsuyan making their way further through TR here. I'm hoping for a cane dash. Ooh,
Nice.
we got it! I love item dashing.
Oh yeah, it's the greatest.
I'd like to say probably my favorite ones are using like fire rod dashes in Ganon's tower to move yourself through fire puzzles.
Yeah, I think I'm more for classic hammer dash. It's just so good.
It's definitely a little bit of Link to the Past ASMR, if you will. Especially taking through those hammer pegs. All right, Chain Chomps, take a bite. And at 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 45 seconds, that's Hitsuyan finding themselves in Go Mode.
Right, and Hitsuyan's just gonna blaze through the rest of Turtle Rock. Only gonna open required chest for keys.
Have we found the big key yet?
We did, yeah. It was in the first chest. That is I think that's the vanilla compass chest, I want to say. Compass or map. There's one with the spikes and the eye laser.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and probably snipe the key from the Hokuboku here. Bunny Beam, leave him alone! Alright, so now we're going to come down to, Ganon's Tower routing could put Ninban back in this race.
Yeah, it depends on who goes left or who goes right.
And of course, there's still a lot of execution between here, folks. I mean, we have all the safeties we can ask for right now. We've got half magic, we've got 14 hearts, we've got red mail, so I don't see a death really being something, but perhaps a fall or Moldorm being Moldorm. I mean, we'll see, but we're making our way up the mountain here. And of course, we've found ourselves in Go Mode here, and we're going to be heading back. We'll have our final crystal in just a few moments. That just sets us up for a little bit of fun.
And of course, stick.
Indeed. And just for that extra little bit of pendant dips and lots of sticks, there's just a few more there for the big chest of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, so Hitsuyan still needs another small key to get to get access to Trinex, and I believe he does have it.
Alright, so no need for laser bridges this time.
No, not today.
I imagine Ninban's gonna take the same route and going ahead and disregarding the refill area there, but there's a full magic decanter just before you get to Trinex. So you're A-okay.
Yeah, I think at this point, the guys are just gonna blaze through Turtle Rock and not really any other items that they need.
And Hitsuyan gonna pick up their large magic decanter and head back to Trinex here. Butter sword in hand. This will be a quick fight. So I think we're gonna get just a moment here, and we'll get something started fun for us all.
Ooh.
All right, that's the fire head down. That's the ice head down, and we did not quite get the zero cycle Trinex. All right, folks, that's the end of Trinex. So if you are a supporter of the Speed Gaming network of channels, get your guesses in the chat. Between 1 and 22 items is where the big key in Ganon's Tower is located, as you get a blue boomerang from Trinex. Get your guesses in now. Crazy Sunshine, what you got?
I put down my lucky number 5, which I'm not familiar with Hitsuyan's routing, but normal routing, it would be in the Southfall's room. So check the 2 chests on the left side, and then the torch, and then Southfall's room.
All right, and we've gotten, I always go for 17. And if you are a sub of any of the Speed Gaming channels or have cheered 250 bits or more, you'll have access to a spot on the Link to the Past Randomizer League leaderboard for the big key guessing game. So get your guesses in as soon as Hitsuyan crosses in and we get the fade to black. That'll be the end of this game.
All right, here we go. All right, first chest we have small key. Second chest, heart container, and Hitsuyan will be going off to the right side. Okay, Hitsuyan's gonna forego the tile room for now.
And Hitsuyan saved a couple seconds by skipping the big chest. Alright, so tile room will be 22 if you're a fan of tile room. As it usually is, right? So a few of our Gibdo friends to burn to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little bit of the back beam to take care of that self before we give him a hug. Alright, here we go. Check number 3, single rupee. Check number 4, the Arrow of Destiny. There's the mushroom on 5, and 6 is the map.
All right, off to the left.
Left side, let's go here. Alright, Bob's Torch number 7.
Small key.
That's a small key, not quite what we're looking for.
No, it'll prove helpful.
Alright, so Ninban is just about done with Trinex. They managed to pick up the 0 cycle.
Nice.
So we're looking at number 8, a small key. Number 9, 3 bombs. Number 10, the compass. And number 11, the swag net.
Sure, that'll be useful for the Ankatu fight should Hitsuyan decides to use that. But other than that,
Butter sword, I don't think so. Alright, 20 rupees on Lucky 13.
Alright, meanwhile, Ninban will be heading over to Ganon's tower as well. Hope he may save some time if he opts to go full left side.
We'll see how they play their route out. Alright, here we are in the hookshot room. Looking at number 4, the fire snake. Looking at number 14.
Heart container.
And that's a heart container. We're off to Rando room. Alright, Rando room. Deliver us the hype. Where's the key? 15 through 18 here.
There it is.
And that's 15! That's a big key! And we're done here, and we're heading up the tower climb.
Right. Well, meanwhile, Ninban will be picking up some time as he is going to do a full left run.
And, Crazy Sunshine, who won the game?
Let's see. Someone named Bungee to the Tree. Sounds like an interesting chap. I hope he's very good at guessing keys in Ganon's tower.
Oh boy.
They're
probably just got lucky, or
Oh yeah, of course. Oh yeah, absolutely.
they're not witches or anything.
No, absolutely not.
So we'll go ahead and give me a win on the leaderboard. That ties me up with quite a few of you. So go ahead and unseat me. I mean, there's still a lot of races to be had on the Link Express Randomizer League. We're only on week 2 of a 6-week excursion here. Lots of games to be played between the Death Mountain and Lake Hylian divisions. Top 3 teams going to make their way into the playoffs.
Meanwhile, looks like Ninban is doing some Dark Magician strats and did part of left side and is now doing solo rights and is not going to make up a whole lot of time, unfortunately.
That is unfortunate, but speaking of the Randomizer League, after the conclusion of this race, if you want to see more action, you'll get about halfway through Act the Boker versus Dante on ALTTPR League channel. going to be a lot of fun to see at the end of this race. Still a lot of execution between Hitsuyan and the end of this race.
Mm-hmm.
I know if this result holds, it'll move Team Awesome up to 9 points, leaving Le France Canadien in just 3. Though they still have one more race to complete this week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's doing the rest of the gauntlet here. Making things just so very easy.
There's nothing quite like the satisfaction of making it through those Wizard rooms in one go.
Oh, it's so good. It's hard to do, but definitely when you get it down, it's just so very satisfying.
Alright, we're making our way up the tower on Hitsuyan's side, making our way through the gauntlet.
Making sure not to despawn the tower by accident.
And I have not seen someone bold enough to bonk across that to save those frames. A risky play for Hitsuyan, but you know, may not be the worst decision because perhaps they feel behind having them made that double dip of Desert Palace.
Mm-hmm.
Way back when.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you just kind of wonder, like, you know, why I'm not seeing a dot done yet from my opponent. Be like, I don't know where they are or where I am. It's very nerve-wracking.
Alright, and we clear through the validation chest.
Yep, Hitsuyan forgoes the last chest of the game, and it's just gonna go straight to Academ 2.
And it's time for our technically second, but first actually required geometry chest of the night.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see how Hitsuyan sets up the Aga clones. Just one on the first cycle, looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone for tennis? That's 2.
There we go.
Alright, down goes the Great Wizard, and we're heading up. He's loose. The King of all Bacon is ready to be strucken down. Taking inventory, where are we at now? We're at half magic. 15 hearts, red mail. I mean, they can't ask for much more safety as opposed to, you know, some more potions that they've already burned through. But I don't think we're going to need it at this point with a gold sword.
Nah, I think we're good for the rest of the for this last final battle here.
Alright, so Hitsuyan dropping into the Ganon fight. What has he got to tell us today? And we got us some bug facts today.
Yeah, bugs.
Thankfully, there aren't any bug fixes to have been found after this race.
Yeah, the Butter Sword makes the Ganon fight so very easy.
And there is the end of Phase 2 for Hitsuyan after we dodge us some fire bats. Now, if Ganon would just hold still.
Just hold still for like 2 seconds.
Your fate. Alright, there's strike number 1.
Question in chat, what does the number in the parentheses mean besides the team names? Those are the number of points that a team has won. So in the league, a win gets you 3 points. A loss gets you 0, and I believe a tie gets you 1. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that sounds right.
Yep, absolutely. It's 3 points for a win in a race, and 1 point for a tie, 0 for a loss.
Mm-hmm.
A tie is considered anything within 2 seconds. I now just wait to send on the final silver skewers in again, and
there we go.
Right, and there's the explosion here as the fanfare plays. It's just a 1x3 bridge is all that separates Hitsuyan between now and victory in this seed.
Alright, we'll wait for Hitsuyan to cross the bridge and into the Triforce room. And with that, Hitsuyan has an official SRR time of 1 hour, 44 minutes, and 44 seconds. Please put your GGs in chat for Hitsuyan of Team Awesome.
All right, and Team Awesome picking up the win in their first of 2 races with Team Les France Canadiens. There's still a lot to be seen. There will be one more race between these 2 teams later this week. I did not see where it has been scheduled as of yet. But perhaps you can see that as we should hopefully get Hitsuyan in here for an interview.
Let's see, we'll probably wait for Ninban to wrap up things here since he's just a few minutes behind. So we'll be finishing up things very, very, very soon. Let's see. So, looks like the next match between Team Awesome and the French Canadians is going to be on Sunday, March 31st at 9 a.m. Eastern. And that's going to be between Yoshi and Rywak.
Definitely will be a fun race to be seen as Ninban is going to head and make their way to the King of All Bacon fight.
No, so the next game between these 2 teams will be on Sunday. So it'll be won't be after this match, unfortunately, guys. So we'll have to wait for a few days before that. But we have plenty of other races coming up for you guys.
And there is a lot in the Link to the Past Randomizer League schedule. Go ahead and check out the league website, or perhaps join our Discord and hang out with us.
Yeah.
The VODs are also being uploaded as we go, and there will be many more of these races to be seen. A lot of them hosted on Speed Gaming or on the newly created Link to the Past Randomizer ALTTPR League channel on Twitch. So give that one a follow if you haven't already done so. Speaking of following, these runners definitely earned it as well.
Yes.
All right, as we go ahead and finally strike our first strike of Ganon here. All right, and that's their 3rd strike down, and now here comes number 4 once again, and does of course holds still. And did we find the silver arrows in the light world? You bet, Ganon. Have one to the face.
Yeah, we found the silver arrows in like the first 5 minutes of the seed. Yeah, we definitely got them.
It looks like we've got a torch glitch set up for Ninban here, and that's the final arrow as he fakes out dashing off the edge there just to mess with us a little bit. Sword held to the sky. The fanfare plays a 1x3 bridge is all that separates Ninban and the completion of this seed.
Alright, we'll cross that bridge, and Ninban has officially finished in the time of 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 7 seconds. Please also put your GGs in chat for Ninban of Team the French Canadians.
And in the chat, we have now been joined by Hitsuyan1337, the winning member of Team Awesome. GG's to you.
GG's, thank you guys.
Yeah, so what do you think of the seed? It seemed to be, besides the fact that you had to dip into all 3 pendant dungeons, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't like the seed, but yeah, and I feel really behind all the time because the desert dip and yeah.
Yeah, you did have to do the double dip into desert because you missed out on getting the first glove upgrade in Eastern. So that did set you back a few minutes. But it did come out. You did pick up some time towards the middle there. Also, speaking of which, we have been joined by Ninban of Team the French Canadians, GGTU as well.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, Ninban. So what do you think of that seed, which I have titled A Tale of Sticks and Pendant Dips?
I love the sequence breaking, like getting in ice and getting all those useful hints, which had me search for those flippers and mirror to get into Swamp.
So how about all those hints that said everything you need is in Swamp?
Yeah.
Yeah, we found the boots were there, which led to the flute.
Which also led to the Ether Medallion, which we need to get in the Turtle Rock. There's definitely
Yeah.
we had three hints that pointed you in the direction of Swamp Pal. So the unique item being in the big chest, the unique item being behind the hook shot, and in the boots being in swamp, as we found out as we entered swamp.
Mm-hmm.
The worst item was on blind, I think.
Yeah,
The
Blind
Quake.
had the Quake Medallion, which was required to enter Mire. That's had neither of you gone there before going to Mire, that might have been an equalizer if anything, but both of you guys did make the choice of clearing now Thieves Town in full to get the Quake Medallion. I know. So go ahead.
If I may, just that's definitely one thing I wanted to emphasize is looking to each of you. Why did you decide to finish out Thieves Town starting with Hitsuyan?
Okay, I wanted to play very safe because Ninban is a very good one. That was, I think, my second match against a good one, and yeah, I already lose games if I gamble something the last times, and now I was thinking, okay, do everything in the way what I can do. Yeah, and it paid off, I think, at the end. The cold death of Ninban, I think, was the win for me.
Yeah, and Ninban, what did you think of? So what led you to decide to clear out blind?
Well, it was easy because I went to Thieves Town so late in the seed. I didn't have much things left to do. I only had like the purple chest and the area north of the Hyrule Field with the Bunkroids and all those things. So it was just like, okay, yeah, there's 3 items left in Thieves Town, and I have like 5 items left in the overworld, so why not? I'm still missing like 3 required items anyway, at least.
And that calls for you mentioned a good point. Going to Thieves Town so late, because of that, you missed out on 2 of the 4 swords until the very end of the race. Why did you elect to leave the village for so late in the seed?
Well, it was not a crystal. I didn't have boots, and I don't like walking around without boots.
That makes that's understandable.
And I was glad I skipped the village of Outcasts entirely until the end. The only thing I did wrong because of that is I tried to poke dash codes there, and I bumped into it.
It did seem like an oddly quick death.
Yeah, at least it was quick. Better to die quick than die after like swinging swords for 2 minutes.
And with that, I believe you guys have one more match between the 2 teams. Just overall, how are you guys been? Like, what are you guys' thoughts of the league as a whole? Do you guys like it? Do you think? I know it's a little bit more laid back than doing a normal, tournaments, as stressful as those can be at times. What are your guys' thoughts so far on the league?
I think the league is very amazing because it's different like the other tourneys we all play, and you have teammates. You can blame them if they lose.
or alternatively,
or you replace them with another player. That's possible. I heard one time in the season. So I'm hoping that Yoshi win the next game against French Canadians.
Yeah, I believe, let's see. Yeah, Sunday it's going to be Yoshi from Team Awesome and Rywek from Team The French Canadians with one more open seed. And from there, I think after this week is when the modes will be interesting, to say the least. Do you guys? I know you guys have thought that far ahead as to who's going to be racing what, or any strategies that you guys are willing to share or not share.
I know we already decided who's gonna race the co-op week and the entrance week. I can show that I'm gonna race the entrance week.
That'll be definitely fun to watch. So looking forward to next week. That would be our dip into inverted mode.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys think you're going to play that or excited to see it come up?
I'm gonna play that, yeah.
I feel really good with Inverted. I think I had the best PB on Speedruns Live in Inverted. So
Nice.
I think we win next week, one game safe, and the other one is not so sure because it's against Zero Rush and he's a very good player. But I
That's
think
right.
with the third win today, we have very good chances to reach the player because that was 3 of the very hard games, and yeah, luckily we won all of them.
Yeah, because next week you guys will be facing off Team Rushton and Tango Swag of Swagalicious, LJM, Nin, and Zero Rush. So that will be interesting. And then looking forward to the matchup for the French Canadians for next week. Let me pull up my schedule again. And that'll be against the last locationers. And that is Illis, Goomba, and Dracaris.
Oh my god, that's gonna be hard.
In either case, we do wish you both the best of luck in your upcoming matches. Anything else you guys want to share with us as we wrap things up for today?
Yeah, thanks for commentating, tracking, and for the other commentator for jumping in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Speedruns
thanks for
Live.
the viewers.
Sorry, I got you.
No, I'm done. Thanks.
Speedruns Live, please unban my IP. But yes, seriously, yeah, I'll get it covered. But yeah, seriously, thanks for everything. Like Hitsuyan said, commentating, tracking, streaming this thing.
All right, well, thank you. And I want to thank both of you guys for putting on this great race for us. We'll head on in and look toward closing out the broadcast here. But keep your eyes peeled to speedgaming.org/schedule. There's more Link to the Past Randomizer League happening tomorrow at both 11 a.m. Eastern and 9:30 p.m. Eastern, as many other matches to finish out the league through the rest of this race, or through the rest of this week. Take a look at the league links in chat. There is. If you've not already done so, give a follow to the Speed Gaming network of channels. That's Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6. Look into the schedule for tomorrow, as well as a link to the Best Randomizer League. We have some inverted for the daily race. We have the more of the German Link to Best Randomizer tournament, if you happen to be a German speaker. A Wind Waker Randomizer, Super Metroid Prodigy. We've got some more Portal 2. There's also a 9 o'clock Link to the Best Randomizer League match tomorrow, as well as some of the more of the Super Mario 3 and the Zelda Metroid 1 and Zelda 1 combo. Lots of good stuff on Speed Gaming tomorrow, as well as lots more Link to the Past Randomizer League action coming up, as well as other things in Link to the Past Randomizer, as this Saturday will be the bracket reveal and the spoiler log tournament exhibition race afterward. That'll be this Saturday at 2:30, or I believe 2 o'clock, on one of the Speed Gaming channels, yet to be decided.
Yeah, lots and lots of good stuff coming up. But I believe for now, I think we're about ready to wrap things up. I know we have a match currently in progress. I feel like we're probably gonna send you guys over there as well. What was the channel again? I think it's linked.
It is ALTTPR League. Twitch.tv/ALTTPR League. Go check them out right now. We're about halfway through a race between Ak the Boker and Dante in the Lake Hylia division.
All right, and I think with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up for this evening. I want to thank you to all the runners and our trackers, everyone that keeps us afloat. You guys are all amazing. Yeah, I've been Crazy Sunshine, and Bungie to the Tree has accompanied me with CoComs. Thank you so much for your guidance. I know it's been a while since I've been on here, but yeah, I think it's a good race. Good game, everyone.
All right, and thank you so much. And as I will always send us off into the good night, and good rando.
Night.